All right, so we will go check in Amplify to see our resources that were created. Hey, looky here. How about you? Very nice. All right, cool. The next thing we should do is set up deployments based off of branches. However, I'm doing this kind of in a day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 situation. So we're going to have to be a little bit flexible about how we make this work. Although we could just have everything deploy off of master and then merge each branch into master. So maybe we'll do that. So let's go through setting that up real quick. Set up our repository. We don't want that. There we go. That's what we're looking for. That's nice and dandy. I do like it. But we want to set up our, guess we have to do it through here, although it should, I always forget we should be able to do it from just the back end, but we don't. Let's go ahead, boom. Okay, we're only going to do it off of the master, and then anytime we merge in the code, it will deploy for us. Right? However, we do not need a front end stage. Right, so, ooh, my goodness. Oh, it is Christmas around Meow. Okay, this is awesome. What we are seeing here, and I did not know that this was directly integrated into Amplify. This is so cool. So I was talking about using Expo for web, React Native for web, and clearly what I'm seeing here is based off of me just using Expo, right? They are installing the CLI into the build process so that it can do Expo build web. Oh my goodness gracious. This is awesome. If we could do this, who's to say that maybe we couldn't figure out down the road how to get this to build our JavaScript bundle if we've already built the Expo native version. But that's a conversation for down the road. Oh my goodness, I don't even know. That's so tight. Okay, cool. That's what we want. Yes, sir, Bob. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Let's give her a go. Oh, seeing if that works, we should be able to test the React Native for web out the gate. My goodness, Amplify. You just get sweeter and sweeter every day I use you. Something new, too. This is wild. Okay, cool. So let's do auth here out the gate. So things to consider with auth, right? This will most likely be customers at restaurants, so they're going to have their phone, and if they're going to scan a QR code or sign up for this or do location based, it's going to be through a web app and through a native application. But the idea is what is the easiest for a login, and it's usually what's expected is somewhere between username and phone number, right? Might be able to throw an email in there, which we might, because maybe eventually we'll want to send out emails to users about specials or going on for things that maybe they like in restaurants. So I think for this right now, what we should do, what I want to do is create sign in with email and phone number, okay, on login. So let's check this out. I add auth, right? Okay, you want to go manual. Okay, we do want user sign in, sign up with IAM, and we're going to call this restaurant review auth. We're going to call it restaurant review identity pool. We do want to allow unauthenticated logins because eventually we want users to be able to see parts of the API, okay, without authenticate or access to parts of our API, like getting certain restaurant data that's publicly available. So we will say yes. Right now, we're not going to do any third-party authentication providers, so no. Again, we're going to say restaurant review user pool. And we'll talk a little bit about the difference between a user pool and an identity pool. All right. So we want email or phone number, as I said earlier. We will have user groups. Almost always there's going to be an admin situation. So let's add admin. No, we do not want to add another group. They already sorted. No, I do not need admin queries API, which is essentially give API, could create an API. So in a Lambda function that, if I recall correctly, like admin people could like look at users, like say if I wanted to look at employees or have other admin access to Cognito functions, that's what this would do, but we don't need that. We do want, so when it asks you this, really what happens under the hood is when it's gonna initialize Cognito, okay, at some point, if you want users to be able to sign up with a phone number and then get texted a code so that they can authenticate their sign in or their sign up rather, or if you do forgot password, okay, we need MFA to be optional, okay, which I know it sounds like multi-factor authentication might be specifically for every login. This is optional just for sign up. We don't want it on every login. All right, so it is going to be SMS text-based. We'll say, can we copy that? Yes, we can. Say your restaurant review authentication code, right? I'm just going to copy and paste that. I think we're going to need it again. We are going to enable it for email based too. Okay. Boom. Oh, that's the subject. Right. Could do that there. No, we do not. We're good on that. Okay, so we know we're gonna, so this is required attributes for signing up. This does not mean attributes that you can store in the user, okay, that you could update later. These are the only things that are required when a user signs up. So when a user signs up, really, okay, we want an email, we need a phone number, okay, and then there's not other required attributes, we'll add them, but I'm not going to require them for sign up because we're just trying to do the least amount of friction for a sign up, and for a user that could just be an email and a phone number, but we won't require it. So here I have it than nothing. Okay, 30 days. Yes, we do want to specify these. Okay, so from Cognito, right, we want users to say, let's say their given name, their name, want to be able to read their phone number. I always just kind of overkill on this. Why not? Because we can. We do want to read this because eventually, if a user tries to sign in and we're trying to capture their email and check if it's verified, on the client side, we'll want to say, hey, user wants to be able, on the client side, this user has permissions to read if their email is verified, right? And so I want to know that, and maybe we'll get into that later. I will throw a birth date in there. And then family name, maybe gender. Okay, that ought to do her. So then we're going to go to the right attributes, what they're able to change. So again, birth date, family name, gender, given name, name, nickname. Yeah, why not? Okay. We do not need any of these. Okay. Not yet, at least, and we can always add them later. No, we do not. We do want to configure Lambda triggers because when a user signs up, we want to create a record in the database. But here's a little gotcha. So how CloudFormation and Amplify kind of sync up is at some point they will create like dependencies on each other, and it's usually in fields that say depends on. Okay, and so if I create a Lambda, right, and it depends on Cognito, All right, and it would be hooked up to, let's say, post confirmation, and in that post confirmation lambda, I want to hit the GraphQL API. The problem is that our GraphQL API relies on Cognito. Cognito relies on our GraphQL API, and then our post confirmation lambda requires one that requires the other, so it gets caught in this circular dependency where um, we can't deploy it because one can't deploy with it without the other. So we're going to come back to that later, but for now we're going to say no. All right, there we go. Very cool. So then what we're going to do next is go check out this code in CloudFormation just so you can see what it looks like. And everyone really gets scared of CloudFormation, but I love it. I used to hate it. And if you use any tools like Serverless or Terraform or the SAM CLI, at the end of the day, they all compile down to this. And don't get me wrong, it's wordy and a little beefy, but you know, man, you know what you're going to do. All right, so pretty much this is all of our code, right? There's our identity pool, our username. We do not want auto-verified attributes, okay, as a matter of fact, because it's not going to be auto-verified, because we want users to opt in eventually to receive emails. All right, so let's put this over here. So if we remove it here, right, we have to remove it here. All right, required alias. We do that, yeah, okay. So we do not want that. Cool. There's our required attributes, our password policy, minimum length. Okay, our attributes, right? Auth roles, unauth roles, so that unauthenticated users could access the API. Username attributes, so you can sign in with either, admin, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So let's give this a little push. And then we will go check out. Oh, nope, see, I missed that save right there. Get a little antsy. There we go. Oh, yes. That's funny. I know some of y'all hate this, but what you gonna do? Sorry about the light mode, y'all. All right, deployed. Let's go to Cognito. Check out our user pool. Ignore the million apps I have in here. All right, cool. So we got our attributes, email, phone number, right? There's our required attributes that we set up. Then you can do custom later. And this is exactly what we wanted. Don't listen to them. Okay, because we are not doing that. Because we like verification via phone. Cool. All right. So that's up for authentication. Next, we will be moving on to DynamoDB and GraphQL and AppSync.